So it's been quite some time since I dropped the video, and I definitely can't explain why. Yeah. I'm back. I wanted to do a update video. It's been quite a bit of time since my last video that I posted. I believe it's been about 5 months or so since my last video. I wanted to answer a few questions that was made on, I think it was the second to first video I had, and it was on the Amazon customer service, as you can probably see here. Video in question, and there was a bunch of comments on a lot of the different things that I did there, a lot of the different operations or returns or scheduling and whatnot. So I wanted to get into those questions that were made on that video. So this is just gonna be a a video where I'm just answering questions. Nothing much other than that. I do have footage that I haven't uploaded yet on me on a morning shift at the Locker Plus associate position in Whole Foods, and I'm gonna be uploading that soon. I don't want to say when, because me and time, we have a toxic relationship. Let's just say that.
So crazy. Call up here. Bitch, I'm up.
So let's get right into it. I believe some of these are questions, and then a lot of them are comments. And I already commented on a lot of them. So as you can see, after the question, you can see me and my comments. But I'm gonna just go through these questions in this video so that those who haven't read the comments yet, or my response to the questions or comments, I can do it here in this video. So let's begin, shall we? The first comment or question says, it comes from Jensen. It says, want to thank you, Terry, for your selfless service on taking some of the pre-employment anxieties out of the hiring process and job duties, all while juggling family and work life. You're a good man and will go far with whatever you put your mind to, gents. Thank you so much. I appreciate the comment. Funny that you say juggling family and work life. You are correct about that. That is something that I know all too well of, juggling a bunch of things, So thank you so much for the comment. I try my best to help in any way I can. I started to make these videos because I seen that there wasn't really any other videos doing it. So I was just like, if I'm getting into it, I might as well document the process for those who don't know, because when I was searching for videos, I didn't see anything. So, let me just take up the work myself. Oh, and by the way, you can tell how long it's been because I have an afro under this hat. If you see the videos prior to this, I have short hair, practically bald, you can say. But thank you for the comment. Next comment comes from Soda. It says, thank you for the informative video. Really helped me grasp what it is like to work for the position. I'm the type of person that needs to be mentally prepared and know what it is expected ahead of time. And haha. But yeah, I understand how you feel, because I'm the same type of person. I need to know what to expect. I want to see the job in question, and I want to see someone in action doing that job. So that's what I try to do with these videos, is go in, infiltrate, do the job, and bring back some intel, so to speak. Next question or comment says, for a return as a locker associate, do you just scan the code and slap label, or you must also check to make sure that the item a customer is returning is the right item, or that be the job of the people, or would that be the job of the people at the returns department to check when the item reaches to them? And it has a little bit more. It says, since they are the ones who decide about the refund anyway. Okay. Basically asking if we're supposed to check if the item is what the item, or if the item is what the scanner says it is. Because once you scan an item, the scanner will pull up a picture of said item. And let's say that the item is a mouse, right? Let's say that it's a mouse and someone's returning a mouse, and you scan their QR code that they have on their phone once they go through the return process on the Amazon app. You scan the QR code with the scanner, it brings up a picture of a bra. Now we know that this mouse is not a bra. You can't put this mouse on. We know that the mouse is not a bra. So there is an option on the scanner. It's like a little eye symbol. And you can tap on that and it'll give you a description of the item that it's depicting on the picture. And if the description is not the same as what the item is, then you know that code is not for that item. That code is for something else. So you do have to check. If the picture doesn't match up, just, tap on the little eye icon. It'll give you a description. If the description is not the same, you want to let the customer know, I'm sorry, sir, but this code, I believe, is for another item. You're returning a mouse, but the description says it's for a bra. Do you have a bra that you're returning as well? And if they do, then you skip to the bra and put the return label on the bra and scan that and continue the process. But if the item, sometimes the item has a different picture, but the description is what they're returning. So in that sense, you just follow through with the process. So you do have to check and make sure that the item is what the item is. But then again, you have instances where customers are returning an item, and it's because the item that Amazon sent them wasn't the right item that they ordered. So it can go both ways. You just have to make good judgment with those situations. But thank you for the question. Let's go to the next question or comment. It says, thank you for this video. I start soon, but I will be working inside of a university. So hopefully the job is still as easy. I worked in the fulfillment center and did not like it. I like working with the public, so this is perfect for me. Thank you for your comment and question. Beyond Beauty 20. Now, working at a university, I've heard from my coworkers that do work at a university, specifically USC. They work on campus. There's an Amazon return center on campus, and they have told me that the work there is much more, or there's a lot more work at the university as opposed to working inside of a Whole Foods market. The university, you got to think, has so many people on campus, and so many of them are ordering from Amazon, and you have a really large workload. Let me just say it that way. I couldn't find the words to say or how to explain it, and I'll just use it that way. There's a really big workload with universities because there's so many people on campus who live on campus. Now, you go to the market, everybody doesn't live inside the market, right? They may live locally, but you got things to do on a day-to-day basis. In the neighborhood, you go to Trader Joe's, you go here, you go there. But these people on the university, some of them live there. So, you can gather where I'm trying to go with this. A lot of them maybe ordering their things that they need for home off of Amazon instead of going to the store. Because I live here, I can just order from Amazon and go right downstairs or wherever the return counter is and get my item. I don't have to go to the store or drive all the way down here to go and get it. I can just get it here with convenience. So yes, I believe there is a lot more work at the universities. So do keep that in mind if you are someone who is trying to get into the return job. Amazon returns customer service. But thank you for your comment. Next says, so I have a pre-hire appointment this Thursday. This was 2 weeks ago, as you can see. I have a pre-hire appointment this Thursday. Can't wait. So how does the shifts work? Are you able to pick up more than one shift in a day? This one is complicated, the question, because you are able to pick up more than one shifts in a day. But the problem is that you're only allowed to grab the morning shift and closing shift. You're not allowed to grab consecutive shifts in one day. So you will never work the afternoon if you are trying to work 2 shifts in a day. Why that is the case, I don't know. I just work there. I don't know. I just heard this from my supervisors that is the case. They never said why. You may have to take that up with Amazon or someone who knows why, because I don't know. You're only allowed to grab the morning shift, which now the times for us, which is where I'm at. I don't know if it's universal or global, but the times where I'm at starts from 8:45 to 1:15, and then 11:45 to 4:15, and 3:15 to 7:45, if I'm not mistaken. So those are your 3 time shifts in a day. You're only allowed to grab the morning and the closing. So after you work the morning, you would take a break for however long it is until you work your next shift, and then you come back, clock in, and close. So I don't know why that is the case, but it is what it is. And I hope that you are enjoying the job if you're still working there. Lake is pretty, I believe your name is, it says. So I believe I hope that you're having a good time working for Amazon. I definitely have a good time. It's super easy. It's not too hard. And yeah, thank you for your comment. The next question or comment says, thank you for the videos. I will be starting soon and wanted to know ahead of time what it was like. Truly appreciate you. And this was 7 months ago. So if you are still working there, you definitely know how it is. You can see how easy it is. It can be fun in most cases. There are instances where you get customers that are, irate or angry or just have tempers or attitudes for whatever reason. But it's up to you not to let those things deter you or take you out of your element. Whatever happened in someone else's life shouldn't be enough to discourage you and your happiness. So, thank you for your comment. Hopefully you're having a good time as well. Next comment or question says, before you had this job, have you got experience yourself taking an Amazon item to be returned using a QR code and taking it to a location where you can make the return? And as you can see, I answered that question in the comments, but I'll just answer it again. I do have experience. Right there it says, no, I never returned the item personally to Amazon, Locker, or Hub before. When I return, I normally do it at UPS. But I do recall returning items for Amazon. I don't know. I may have forgot when I wrote that comment and just said, no, I never really returned anything. But I do recall that I've actually returned a few items, actually. at the hub that I work at currently. And at the time that I did return them, they didn't have a counter customer service. They had lockers, physical lockers that either kept your item or you can put your item back into. And I do recall picking up items from these lockers and returning items as well. You will go up to the locker. It will have like a little section that had like, you know how cashiers have the little red laser and they can scan barcodes. It had one of those things. And you would just bring the package and you would just scan the code, which was a shipping label, I believe, on the package. You would just scan it there and it would know exactly who it is, who's returning it, and you would just put it in the locker and close it. And vice versa. If you were picking up things, you would do the same thing. You would scan it, scan the code on your phone, and then a random locker will open up with your package in it. And you would just grab it, close the locker, and leave. So yeah, I have had experience doing those things. Thank you for your comment. Next comment or question says, thank you, going for my Amazon appointment soon, and your information is greatly appreciated. No worries. Again, I did this so that individuals who are getting into this job could have an understanding of what to expect, because when I went to see what to expect on YouTube, I couldn't find anything. So I took it upon myself to just, make the videos. I'm glad that they are helpful to you and anybody else who found it helpful. Next question says, if you need to take a quick restroom break, do you need to wait for someone to relieve you, or do you have a be back soon sign? And it has more. It says, what if someone is picking up an order, but they don't have their phone or QR code, or they are picking up for someone else? I start next week, and I am very grateful for your videos. Thank you for your comment. And I'll just answer the first part of the question. And I already responded to it, as you can see. But the first part of the question about the restroom break, do we have a be back soon sign? Yes, we do. We have a sign that says we'll be back at this time, or something like that, to that nature. And you would just put the sign up in front of the counter, and customers will be able to see it. You come back when you're finished, or they'll just have to wait for you to come back. It's just, you can't control your bladder, or if you have to, number two. You can't control that. You got to do what you got to do. So I'll be back when I'm done. They just have to wait, right? There were times when we didn't have a sign, but we had a printer to make a sign, and we would just make one. Now they've gotten fancy with it and got these little sign stands, and they made one for us to actually put up for when we have to go use the restroom. But then there are cases where you have help. You have an associate there helping you, and that's easy. I'm going to the restroom, I'll be right back, and they can cover for you. Second part of the question says, if someone is picking up an order and they don't have their QR code, or they are picking up for someone else, what do you do? So if they don't have the QR code, there is no way for them to pick up other than their email address. And on your scanner, there is an option that you can go to, which allows for you to let the customer put in their email, and that will pull up where their item is stowed, right? But it has to be the email address that they use for their Amazon account. Can be any other email address. There's been times where customers will come up to me and they would say,
"Hey, I have this package. My name is James Johnson."
I'm like, okay, nice to meet you, James, but I can't find your package that way. I would need a QR code, or I would need your email to do that. If you don't have those things, I'm sorry, but there's no way for me to get your package. If they're picking up for someone else, that one is a little bit more tricky because they would have to have that person's email, or if that person sent them a picture of their QR code from the Amazon app, they can take the package for their friend or family or whoever it is if they have that picture, right? And for a little bit more security type measure, we often ask, what's the name on the package? And if they don't give the right name, then we kind of, try to sit there with them and see, is this really the person that you're picking up for? But oftentimes they always give the right name, right? If you're picking up a package and you got a QR code from someone and we ask what's the right name, you should know their name, right? Because that code belongs to their account only. But yeah, those are the only ways for them to pick up the package. Next question says, hello, happy I found your channel. I'm happy you found my channel too. Says, quick question, is the position morning and daytime only? I'm in California as well, and I'm going to start soon. I know it's an easy position because the pay is $15. I've worked at the fulfillment centers. This is my first time working with customers. Okay, so the position is morning, afternoon, and I guess you can say evening, right? And I gave the times earlier. You have 3 different shifts. You have a morning, an afternoon, and a closing shift. So, and you mentioned that you're making 15, or you're going to be getting $15. We were bumped up to $16, I believe. I think it was like 3 months or so into it. They bumped up the wage and we went to 16 something. So, yeah, I'm glad that you are enjoying the videos. Hopefully they have been as helpful as you say they've been. I know a lot of people sometimes just say these are helpful and they just, they just trying to be nice, but it wasn't really as helpful to them as they said it was. But I hope it is truly helpful to you. And I can see in the comments my response. I actually wrote down the time frames for the shifts, as you can see there. But again, I thank you so much for your comment. Hopefully you're enjoying the job if you started already. Let's go to the next question, which says, first of all, I would like to thank you for all the detailed information. You sound like a very nice person and a great employee. Wish you and your family all the best. God bless. Thank you so much for that comment. I don't know if you're going to get into the job or not, but hopefully if you are, this information was helpful to you and you're starting the job and the process that goes into learning how to be a good employee. Next question says, here's a crazy question. If someone wants to return an item but came with the QR code, the return cannot be processed whatsoever at the locker, can it? I mean, does this customer need to be assisted in another way? I actually just answered that question. If a customer came without a QR code, and right there you can see email and tracking number work as well. But yes, they would need the return code to finish the return. Now, tracking number, the reason I say tracking number there is because you can actually pull up the tracking number on a website that they give you as one of the tools you can use to locate a package. And once you type in the tracking number, it'll show you if the package was stowed at your facility or at your counter, at your hub. It will show you if it was stowed there, and if it was, it will show you where it went. So it will show that it bounced here to there to here to there, because a lot of times packages are bounced to and fro in the different stow, I call them cubby holes, but the different stow areas, only because people are trying to simplify and make things nice and neat, or keep things with keep a package with a similar package. So if it's like like a paper bag package, they want to keep it with the paper bag packages. If it's a plastic bag package, they want to keep it with plastic bag. If it's a small box, they want to keep it with the small boxes area. So in that sense, the package jumps from here to there, to there, to here, to here, to, and you can see all of those things on this website. It'll tell you where it went from store to store. And once you check all of those places, you know, if you don't come across it, then you have to, you know, gather some other information. Okay, if it's not here or there, maybe someone gave it out already, or maybe it went back to the reverse store or return center. So there's various ways to find a package, but an email is what you would use to pull up the person's where it's stored as well. So I hope that answered that question. Next question says, how difficult is it to get hours? Is it true that people have a hard time getting shifts using A to Z because there are so many employees? It can be difficult to get hours at sometimes. It just depends on how many associates you have, of course. And it also depends on the methods that you use. There's different ways to find, or different ways to grab shifts, different techniques and tips and tricks, so to speak. And there are multiple videos on YouTube that you can watch to teach you certain tricks. But there are also some tricks that I haven't seen on YouTube that I'm possibly going to do a video on to get you success in getting Amazon shifts. Yes, but people do have hard time getting shifts. It's like the Hunger Games. That is one of the terms I use to describe grabbing shifts. The Hunger Games. It's a free-for-all, a battle royale. Everyone for themselves. You have to be there on time on the app to grab a shift. And you have to know certain things to be able to get the shifts as quickly as possible. So yes, it is difficult. Next question says, I have a question. So do you select shifts from A to Z app? Can you give an example of the shift timing? Yes, you do select shifts from A to Z. You will go to A to Z. Let me see if I can do it right here. So you want to go to your Amazon A to Z app. I think you can see that there, A to Z. It's kind of difficult to find it. And right there it says find shifts. I don't know if you can see that. Find shifts. You tap on that and then it will pull up different days, and then shifts usually drop around 6:15 p.m. So you just want to be ready ahead of time. When 6:15 hits, you want to refresh the page and you want to be ready to grab whatever shift it is you are trying to get. You can also sign up for text messages, which give you notifications on when shifts will drop, what shifts will drop, and you can be ready ahead of time. So yes, I'm possibly going to do another video on shift timing, like a deeper, detailed video on how to grab shifts successfully. But I don't know when that will be done. So just subscribe if you haven't, and you'll be notified when I do drop that video. Next question comes from Wendy Smith. It says, what's the dress code for this position? Thank you for the information you've already provided. The dress code is simply casual. You just dress casual. It's common sense, so you don't come to work with a bra on and panties unless you want to. I'm pretty sure a few people will be happy about that. But if you do know how normal jobs work, it's just casual dress. You come in like you're going into a warehouse to work, you know, dress comfortable, not too revealing, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's the dress code. Nothing serious. You just dress how you would dress if you worked inside of a warehouse. Next question says, how many stowing bins do you have? I mean, does every package go in a coded bin or cabinet or something, or all the packages are just stocked in one place? Also, does the deliverer have to wait for you to finish your stowing before you can leave? How many stowing bins depends on your location, right? It's not just a set number like a 46 here, 46 at the other place, 40. No, certain places have different dividers. They have dividers that you can make the stowage area larger or shorter. So it just depends on your area. It can range from a high number to a low number. There's not a set number that every place has, because some places get more clientele than other places. So just depends. And the question also says, does the deliverer have to wait for you to finish stowing before he can leave? And no, he doesn't. Sometimes he just leaves the Amazon drop-off bag, the bag that has all of the packages in it. He just leaves it there with you, because he's like, I gotta go grab another bag, so I'll just leave this here with you, or I'll come back tomorrow and pick up this bag. If you want to leave it here and stow from it, you can have it, and someone will come tomorrow to pick it up. So no, they don't have to wait. Oftentimes they'll drop off the packages, take their carrying bag with them and just leave. They don't have to wait to scan anything. They just leave it with you. You scan it, you stow it. So I hope that answers your question. Next question says, I'm about to start this position. I have a question. What if the return box is full of items? Do you get a new box and stick a new label to it? Yes, you do. And I believe in my previous video, I show an example of this at the end of the video. You can see the process being done in action. If the box is full, there's an option on the scanner which lets you take out some of the full items and transfer it to another box so that you can close the full box. So I hope this was helpful to you. If not, you can always let me know. Comment and tell me that I wasn't as detailed as I should have been, and I will come back and explain myself. Next question says, if a package is already put in the overflow but the customer isn't able to pick it up after all, do you have to restow it, or do you have to restow and rescan the package before putting it back in the stow area? Customer has 15 minutes to pick up their package from the time that they said that they were going to pick up the package. They have an option in the app, in the Amazon app, when they have an item at a pickup location at a Whole Foods or wherever the pickup is. They have an option that says get a pickup code, and once they push that, it'll beep the Amazon worker and tell them pick up these packages, in a timely manner, so that someone will come and pick up their packages. But once the time is past the 15 minutes, you have the option. You can restow it back into the stow area. You can, if you want, or you can just leave it there until the end of the day or until the next person starts their shift and they determine what they want to do with it. It's up to you, but you're supposed to restow it after 15 minutes. You don't have to, but you're supposed to. Hope that answers your question. Next question says, thanks for all the info, or comment I should say. I'm going to start as a customer service associate in Amazon soon. Well, I thank you for the comment. Hopefully these videos have been helpful, and good luck on your starting date. Actually, that was written like 7 months ago, so you probably started already. Hopefully you enjoy it. Next question says, what time did they have the new hires come for the training? Like, if you intend to pick evening shift, did they make you come in the morning for this training, or were you assigned a time when to come for your first day? That's a good question. They usually pick your shifts for morning. My shifts were morning. when I started for training. And I believe it's simply because they want to get all the time they can to train you. If they were to pick an afternoon shift, you know, time is so limited to, you know, to the store closing that they wouldn't have as much time if they needed more, as opposed to if they did it in the morning. So my shifts were always morning shifts. I forget what the exact time was, but yeah. But it may be different. I mean, maybe they changed the process since the last time I got hired. So I don't know. But it was in the morning. If you do want to pick a closing shift, you're not going to come in training a closing shift. You're going to come in most likely during the morning, and then the wisdom that you get from that training session, you just carry to a closing shift. Hopefully that answered the question. Next question says, what's the biggest item that can be returned there and people can pick up too? It just depends. Again, it depends on the area. Certain areas have bigger sections to stow larger items than other areas, and some areas have small places to stow items. But every place, I believe Amazon has a calculation of their stow sizes, and they allow people to pick up items based on the stowing calculations that they have for the areas that they maintain. So for example, one area they can have in their calculations, is what I'm calling it, they can have in their calculations a 20, well, not 20, a box that's 14 inches high, maybe. And then other places, they won't have that specification. So you would only be able to pick up an item that is 14 inches high at that location, which has that size. I don't know how it's done, but I'm sure that they have, you know, measurements for their various locations of what items can be stowed there and picked up there as well. Next question or comment says, this is perfect. Thanks a lot, my brother. I start on this Monday, Whole Foods location as well. Okay. Hopefully you enjoy the job. I see this was 8 months ago, and I'm completely late to all of these questions. But again, I've been super busy with a lot of things. And I've been meaning to make an update video, which is why I'm doing it now. It's most likely overdue, but hey, I did it. All right. I eventually did it. And I forgot to update you guys on my current status on Amazon, but I'll try to do that as soon as I get through some of these questions. So the next comment or question says, those sticky labels that you stick on every item returned, I suppose they are of various codes, but I guess it doesn't matter which one you stick on the item as long as you can scan each of them. Yeah, those sticky labels are essentially where the return money comes from. So those labels are the money, essentially. Once you have a label and you scan their QR code or the information that they have from their QR code onto the label, that's how they're going to get their money. And those labels, each label has a unique code on it. So it's a random code, and that code will be specific to that person's account. So yeah, it's very unique. And we just scan the QR code's information onto the label, place it on the item. And if the item or if the label separate from each other, so if the sticker detaches from whatever the item is, they still can read the unique code that it has on the label, so they can associate which is which. Because when it goes back to the return center in this return box, you got to think this car may be driving on dirt roads or whatever. It may be flipping around, and those labels won't necessarily stick to the item all the time. it'll be, you know, tossed around inside the box. So there's got to be a way for them to acquire what item it is to what sticker is being presented. Next question. Do you do money exchange or like a cashier, credit card, or and debit card? No, we don't exchange money. We don't take care of any type of currency. That's done with the Whole Foods cashiers. If you work at a Whole Foods return hub. There was a time where a customer came back after I gave such great customer service. She came back and she wanted to give me money. And she said, here, you take this because you've been so nice and so helpful. I want you to have this amount of money. And I'm like, no, I can't take that. But she insisted. She like, no, you here. I'm not taking it back. This is yours. So I said, okay, I will make sure it has a good home. But yeah, we don't handle money. So actually, I've had instances where customers have asked, can I break this 20 and get some change here? I was like, no, we don't have cashiers, you know. But thank you for your question. Next question says, super easy. Just hope they work with my schedule. It's actually the other way around. You have to work with their schedule. You have to work around whatever schedule they have set. So if you can work a 8:45 to 1:15 p.m., then it works around your schedule. But it's according to what they have solidified already. I remember they just changed the schedule. Actually, it was an hour ahead of what it is now, and it worked with my schedule. But they I don't know why they moved it an hour behind. And now I have to work around what they changed it to. So you would just have to work around them, not the other way around. Next question says, I just got this position and I'm starting soon. What are the shift hours? Are they increments of 4? Usually it's 4-hour shifts. I think the basic is like 4.5, but it's usually 4-hour shifts, depending on if it's a regular shift or if it's a support shift. Support shifts can be different. They can be like 6 hours or whatever. Say you have an associate that calls out and says, I can't come in. Well, that shift won't be a 4-hour shift. It's going to continue into whatever their shift was. So say you're there in the morning and then the afternoon calls and says, I can't do it, or they just don't show up. Your supervisor may ask you to cover them if you can. And then it will be an 8-hour shift, right? Or they will ask someone else to come and cover. But they would need you to maybe cover an hour over or 30 minutes over until the next person can get there to cover that shift. So it just depends on the circumstances. But yeah, I thank you for your comment and your question. Next one says, is there always customers coming in like back to back? That just depends on the day, right? Maybe the morning has a lot less people because, you know, it's morning. I'm just waking up. I don't feel like going to return something. Or maybe it just depends on the circumstances in the day. It could be a peak season. So in peak seasons, it's always busy. But it also depends on where you work, because I've worked at locations where it's completely slow. And then other locations is very, very hectic. So it's different variables to that. I just don't have a solid, concrete answer. It just depends on certain things. So thank you for your question. Next comment says, do you mind telling what was it that you were having trouble with while by yourself that you needed to contact the manager for? This was, and you can see I answered the question there, an issue with closing out a full box on the scanner, I believe. I don't recall what it was. This was so long ago, 8 months ago. So I don't really recall what it was, but we got the issue taken care of, which is all that matters. Next question says, unfortunately, my day one has been canceled twice now. There's no one that can help. First date I had was November 13th canceled, then December 2nd date is canceled. Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened, but I know that they have different things that go on with training and getting workers to come in at the same time as each other. So, you know, a lot of people can be trained at the same time, but I'm not sure what happened in that instance. Hopefully you were able to work and they didn't just cancel everything altogether. Because this is definitely an easy job, and I would like it if a lot more people seen how easy it was. Next one says, why is it hard to get a shift? Well, how many workers in all does Amazon hire for one locker location? Do you know? In the application, it says 19-hour shift, doesn't it? So why can't they reserve 19 hours for each employee? It's hard to get a shift simply because there's so many people trying to get the same shift. And also you have different things that may come into play. Say the internet is not as fast for you as it is for someone else, or, you know, there's different things that can happen. So that is why it's hard to get a shift. How many workers does Amazon hire? It just depends on the location and the managers. I can't really answer that one. I don't know the behind the scenes things that go on as to why it should only be this number and that number. And then the third part of the question was, it says that it was a 19-hour shift. So why can't they reserve 19 hours for each employee? That again is something that a manager will have to answer. I'm not sure. I'm just a worker. I don't know why that is the case, but they often raise the hour cap for people to grab more shifts and more hours. But then again, throughout the week, you may have someone that drops shifts. They may drop their shifts. So you could potentially be working more than 19 hours in a week, because people drop shifts all the time. Things come up, right? And maybe they need you to go help and support a shift. You know, there's so many different things that can happen. So it's not just strictly 19 hours. So yeah, thank you for that question. The next question that he says is, so Amazon lockers with lockers in them are self-service only without somebody working in them. Well, the position is called Locker Plus Customer Service. So before they did have lockers, but they took the lockers out, and now they have a counter with people working the counter. So it's face-to-face transaction. It's face-to-face customer service. So yeah. Next one says, this is the same question as the other one. Next one says, I guess you are not allowed to sit down if it's slow. I guess that's not bad since it's part-time. You can sit down. Like where I'm at, I can sit down if it calls for it. If your feet hurts or something like that, of course you're allowed to sit down. They don't want you to die. But a lot of times the associates abuse the privilege. Like they'll be sitting down when there's a line full of customers. Now, in that sense, no, you can't be sitting down. And that will take away the privilege because customers complain. They will definitely go to the Whole Foods managers and tell them that you're sitting down or you're whatever, because they don't know that Amazon is not connected with Whole Foods in the sense that they can just go talk to a manager, against us. They can, and the manager would have to contact your manager or our manager, but their managers have nothing to do with us. But I have seen an instance where one of my coworkers, it was over a mask. The employee didn't want to wear a mask, and this was during a time when COVID was serious, super serious, as you know. Right now, it seems like it's kind of dimming down, but at this time, it was extremely serious. I'm talking about if you cough one time, people will look at you crazy. And he didn't want to wear a mask. And a customer had complained that he wasn't wearing his mask properly, or it was just off altogether. And they complained to the managers of Whole Foods. The Whole Foods managers then came to us, to the counter, face to face, and told us, you know, there's an issue, yada, yada, yada. We're going to have to talk to your manager about this because they're complaining to us. And, you know, it was a big fiasco. But, yeah, it's not an issue if you sit down if you're tired, but it has to be during a time when it's not busy. There's not any customers in line and customers coming up, and say a customer comes up and you just ignore the fact that they're up there, or you're on your phone and you don't see them and you're sitting down, then it becomes a problem. But if you're tired or you have some kind of health issue, of course you can sit down. Now, I'm not going to just say that like I'm a manager. Maybe your manager doesn't want you to sit down, and, you know, then you can't sit down. But where I'm at, or where I've been working, which is 3 different locations, they don't mind if you sit down. It's just, there shouldn't be a line of customers, or you should be attentive to someone coming and be ready to provide customer service. Next one says, watching since 11 subs. Hey, shout out to you. We trying our best to get this YouTube channel up and rolling. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel if these questions and comment answering if this question and comment answering has been helpful to you. There we go. Worded it correctly. Next one says, what was a lady customer saying at 2013? Something about email confirmation, or was she showing a QR code? I'm not sure what this is referring to. It does give a timestamp, but I'm not going to go to that at the moment. We have one last question at the bottom. You guys probably can't see it, but let me see if I can pull it up. Last one says, do you need to do an interview? And the question is, no, we didn't have to do an interview. I'm speaking for me and my coworkers because it was the same process for each of us. No, we didn't have to do an interview. You just apply on, I believe it's hiring.amazon.com. It's to say Locker Plus Associate position, or Locker Plus Customer Service Associate job. And then you just apply for it. They give you a date to come in and do, I believe they take your ID, photo, and whatnot. I think they do a drug test there, a swab or something like that. And that's it. It's very simple, very easy. You start, like, I think in the next 2 or so weeks or so, something like that. But it was very straightforward, very simple. And no, there was not an interview. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'll just mention as an update status as to if I'm currently working for Amazon now. The question is yes. I don't work as many hours as I did before. Before, I used to work a lot. I used to work like 3 days a week for Amazon. But when they changed the time frames and made it an hour, they brought it back an hour. They made it go back an hour. I'll just say it that way. Before they did that, I was getting multiple shifts, like 3 to 4 days I would work out of the week. But since they changed the hours, I've been only working 1 day a week. And that's because I decided to work more overtime at my other job. So, but yeah, I still work for Amazon. I'm still there, still grabbing shifts, and I'm still with the team. So hopefully this was helpful to everyone that have been watching. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button so that this video can get out to other individuals who have questions about this position. Make sure you subscribe, of course, and share this also to those who may be looking to get into this position as well. That's it, man. If you got any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down below, and I'll try to do another video to get to them. I will be making another video on shift timing and how to get shifts successfully, because I believe that there are certain things that I have not seen yet on YouTube, or certain tips and tricks that I believe are extremely helpful to you or anyone trying to grab shifts on the A to Z app. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support, everyone who subscribed already, and that will be it. See you when I see you.